So I went to the flea market yesterday, and I don't always have the best of luck at flea markets. Sometimes you end up finding nothing good. Sometimes you find some great things, and yesterday was great for me. So I'm really happy with what I got. I went there with the plan of buying a 35mm camera, and I've actually gone twice before this looking for a 35mm camera and no luck. Not one that I wanted. I ended up getting the EOS Rebel Ti, and this is the first, I believe, Rebel in Canon's Rebel series, which ended up becoming an extremely popular camera. And I think this came out, well, I don't know when it came out, but I bought one. I bought the digital version when it first came out. Or actually, I bought it used, probably, I don't know, 20 years ago. So this is an old camera. Really wanted a 35mm camera to play around with film. And I went to the flea market with a budget of $100. Not for the camera, for everything. The guy was asking $35, I believe. And I talked him down to $25. And he was very hesitant because this camera is, well, he was telling me just the lens is worth $25. And, you know, that might be true. But the thing is it was just sitting there without a lens cap on or anything. Who knows if this has scratches on it, how well the lens has even been taken care of. I really don't care about the value of this camera. I just want a good camera for a 35mm film. Anyway, got that. Very happy with the purchase. And I also have other Canon lenses that will fit this. So that's fun too. The only problem is that this mode dial sticks badly. Once you get it moving, it moves easily. But to get it moving is a challenge. I can get it if I had two hands. I might try to clean that up. I'm not sure what I'll do, but we'll see. I'm pretty happy with that. And I actually do have a spare lens cap. I'll clean up this lens a little bit and get that spare lens cap on there. So that's really exciting. I can't wait to take some photos with it and get some film developed. Actually, so my original Digital Rebel, I have photos here from that camera taken 20 or so years ago because my wife got a degree in photography and I went with her on a lot of her photo shoots, and one of them was the Denver Botanical Gardens, and I took my camera and took these photos, and she liked them so much that she had them printed and framed. That's where those come from. Anyway, there's that camera. Then I got a couple of CDs. So I got Marilyn Manson. This is Eat Me, Drink Me. Not familiar with it, so I'm excited to listen to that. Then I got U2 War. And I actually am not a big fan of U2, but I remember I had a friend, still a friend, but a childhood friend who loved this album. And I always thought it was weird because he wasn't really into rock a lot. I mean, I guess he did, but he was like me. He was more into hip-hop, but he loved this album. And I never really took the chance to listen to it or understand it, but saw this. The guy was selling it for $2, so I bought it. Then we got Electric Larryland from the Butthole Surfers. Also something I'm not too familiar with. I do remember the Butthole Surfers. My brother was telling me it's got some of their really popular songs on it, so I took his word for it and picked it up. We'll see if I remember anything. I think he said that Pepper was one of their really popular songs. And then Harvest from Neil Young, another recommendation from my brother. My brother knows a lot of music, so a lot of times I have to rely on him to tell me. I have a very poor memory, so I know a lot of this music. I just don't remember the names of the songs or anything like that. So I take his word for it. I always ask him, I'm like, is this a good album? And he just says, yes, I'll pick it up. And then another one that my brother actually found. I would have never thought to pick this up, but he saw it sitting on a table. And he's like, is this Motorhead? And my brother's a big Motorhead fan. So he picked it up, and sure enough, it's a Motorhead on vinyl, No Remorse. And look at all those great songs. That's a huge buy. I am really excited for that. And I don't know if this is like a special edition or something. I don't know if I should even open it. I suppose I'll look later, but yeah, $5 for an unopened vinyl of Motorhead No Remorse. I've been really into music lately, which is why I'm getting lots of things like vinyl and CDs. One of the first steps of that at the flea market was this huge book. So I don't know how many CDs are in here. Unfortunately, I don't have the cases, and that's the thing that sucks about buying a book like this is you don't have the case. I do have a lot of the inserts at least, but you don't have the back paper that goes on the CD case. And that was one of the reasons I always loved collecting CDs, because I liked it all. I liked the whole physical aspect of collecting CDs. But I thought this would be fun because I can listen to a whole bunch of stuff that I would never have purchased separately or on my own. So I bought it all in a book. There's 8 CDs on each thing, missing some. Let's call it 200. Now they're not all official. There are some burnt ones here too. So that kind of sucks. Most of them are actually the legit CD. So like these are things I would never bought. Avant, Akon, the Atari Heart Greatest Hits, Green Day's International Super Hits, Whitney Houston, would have never purchased that. Avril Lavigne I would have never purchased. There's a couple of Kiss albums in here, which is very cool. I was just thinking about how I wanted to buy some Kiss albums. I actually want them on vinyl though. Kid Rock, not a big fan of, but whatever. Limp Bizkit, 4 of those, 4 Limp Bizkit albums, and I thought I had them all because I was really into butt rock in the old days. Jimmy Buffett, Monster Ballads of Rock. Not sure I'm going to like those. I'm not a big fan of 80s rock or ballads. But I will give them a chance. Nelly. Oh, that album isn't in there. That's a bummer. But there's Nelly Sweat. Motley Crue. More albums I would not have purchased. Papa Roach. REO Speedwagon. Lots of 80s stuff in here. Looks like they were a big fan of Sum 41. Styx. Exhibit. Metallica. Bon Jovi. Not a fan of Bon Jovi either, or Bryan Adams, but I am a fan of Metallica. Nickelback. And then some favorite party mixes. I don't know what this all is, maybe some karaoke or something. But I'm excited to go through this whole book and listen to just a bunch of stuff I would have never listened to. I don't know how you end up with a book like this. I have a feeling it was stolen. I actually... when I was in my 20s, I think probably 25, I had a book like this, and I had a party and it was stolen. Never found it. So I wouldn't doubt if that's where this came from. Oh, and I got that whole book of CDs for 20 bucks. So not bad. And then of course had to pick up some games. Mortal Kombat 2 on the Sega Genesis. I think Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 and 3 were best on the Sega Genesis. So trying to get that whole collection there. I got this for $10. I think that's a pretty good deal. Looks great. Excited to play that. And another gaming related thing, the Atari Gamestation Pro. This is the 7052, which I think might be their first model. Anyway, I don't really care. I just wanted an Atari. I've seen a lot of good things and bad things about this, but firmware updates have fixed a lot of the bad things, supposedly. And what a lot of people do is they get a micro SD card with pretty much the entire Atari library, 5200, the 7800, the entire library on that SD card. And then you can play every single Atari game on here with these really cool Atari controllers. It feels so much better than the old crappy spongy controllers that originally came with the Atari. So yeah, really cool. I'm really excited to play this. I see a lot of people also will put other systems on this, on the SD card. I guess you can also put Game Boy, NES, Sega Genesis. I don't know if I'm going to do all that, because you don't have to just stick to this controller. You actually can play with Xbox controllers, from what I've read. But I don't know if I just wanted this for the Atari. I just wanted to play Atari on here. And I got this for $10. So yeah, that was my flea market shopping experience yesterday. Music, video games, photography. All right, I'll catch you on the next one.